Good evening. Manish, Akhilesh, and others. Now, आज से हम लोग इंडियन फिलोसफी शुरू करेंगे. इंडियन फिलोसफी, नोट डाउन एंड सी द सिलेबस फर्स्ट. सिलेबस ऑफ इंडियन फिलोसफी. फर्स्ट टॉपिक इज चारवाका फिलोसफी. सो सी, चारवाका फिलोसफी. In Charvaka philosophy, two topics are prescribed. One is theory of knowledge, and second one is rejection of transcendental entities. So, Indian philosophy, first of all, Charvaka. Note down the term Charvaka. And two topics are prescribed. One is theory of knowledge. Note down. And second one is rejection of transcendental entities. Transcendental entities. Transcendental, you may write trans-empirical realities. Trans-empirical or transcendental entities. Theory of knowledge, or you may write epistemology or epistemology. So two topics are prescribed in Charvaka philosophy: theory of knowledge, and second one is rejection of transcendental entities. Two topics, first topic in Indian philosophy. First of all, in Charvaka philosophy, I am going to explain important technical terms which I will use frequently in statements. So let us see important technical terms which are used frequently in Charvaka philosophy. You must be aware, in each philosophical system, you will find some specific technical terms. So in process of writing that particular philosophy, use those specific terms used by that particular system. So see, note down few important technical terms. Heterodox. Although I have discussed already, but once again, Charvaka is a heterodox philosophy. Note down, denial of validity of Vedas. Not only Charvaka, apart from Charvaka, heterodox system, apart from Charvaka, Jainism and Buddhism also included. Charvaka is a heterodox philosophy. Denial of Vedas. Atheistic philosophy, note down atheism. Atheism is supported by Charvaka. Denial of God. No need to accept God, it is said by them. So Charvaka philosophy is an atheistic philosophy. Third, these are important technical terms related to Charvaka system, Charvaka philosophy. Materialism. Materialism is accepted by Charvaka, supported by Charvaka. Note down. Matter is accepted as ultimate reality. Matter is accepted as ultimately real. Matter is accepted as ultimately real. Or you can say ultimate reality is material in nature. Next, pluralism. Pluralism is supported by Charvaka. Many realities are accepted as ultimate realities. Many realities are accepted as ultimately real. Many means here four. Basically, four kinds of realities are accepted ultimately: earth, air, water, and fire. Each and everything is the byproduct of these four kinds of material elements. Everything which has existence in this universe is caused by these four kinds of material elements: earth, air, water, fire. Earth, air, water, fire. not accepted. Akash or ether. Akash rejected by them. Akash not accepted by Charvakas. Accepted four kinds of material elements. That's why pluralism. Ultimate realities are material in nature. That's why materialism. Should be clear. Okay. Next, realism. Charvaka philosophers have supported realism. Realism means object. This side knower. Object also means knowable. Note down. According to realism, object exists outside and independent from knowers. Knowable or object exist. Knowable or object exist outside and independent from knower. This is the meaning of realism. Realism is supported by a number of philosophers apart from Charvaka, supported by Jainism, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, etc. All these philosophers have supported realism. Realism, Jainism, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya outrightly supported realism. Realism. Object exists outside and independent from knower or mind. Knower's mind. That is called realism. That is called realism. Clear? Two types of entities are there. Entities. Entities, or in one sense you can say realities. Realities or entities. The term entities is used by UPSC in our syllabus. See the syllabus. Rejection of transcendental entities. Here the term transcendental entities. Rejection of transcendental entities. It is in our syllabus, it is prescribed. Entities are of two types. One is empirical entities. Note down. Entities, and second one is transcendental entities. Transcendental entities, or you may write realities also. Entities are of two types. For example, this marker is a kind of empirical entity. Through experience, it is possible to find knowledge. Through sense organ. Empirical entities, example, board, chair, table, pen, or you can say worldly objects. These are empirical entities. Possible through perception we find knowledge. Perception. Or through experience, you can say, through experience we find knowledge. We find perception of such kind of entities. Marker is a kind of empirical entity. Through experience possible to find. Through sense organ possible to perceive this marker. Through sense organ possible to perceive this board, wall, chair, table, etc., laptop, etc. These are empirical entities. Transcendental entities, beyond perception. Note down, beyond perception. Or you can say beyond experience. Beyond experience is known as transcendental entities. Beyond space and time in one sense. Beyond space and time. Beyond space and time. Those are basically transcendental entities. Two topics are prescribed in our syllabus. Must be aware. In Charvaka's philosophy, two topics. One is theory of knowledge, where we will discuss different aspects of knowledge. We'll describe knowledge, source of knowledge, etc. And second topic is rejection of transcendental entities or trans-empirical entities, or you can say entities which are beyond perception or beyond experience, or you can say beyond space and time. They are known as transcendental entities, transcendental, or trans-empirical, beyond sense experience. And what are such kind of entities? Transcendental entities. Transcendent entities are God, soul, heaven, hell, liberation, rebirth, etc. These are transcendental entities, and these entities are rejected by Charvaka. Charvaka have rejected such kind of entities. They have accepted empirical entities. This world, this world is also a kind of empirical entity, or that world is a kind of transcendental entity. Should be clear. Is it clear? Two topics are prescribed in our syllabus, must be aware. One is theory of knowledge, that is epistemology. Here we discuss different aspects regarding knowledge, source of knowledge, etc. And here second topic is, which is prescribed in our syllabus, rejection of transcendental entities. What do you mean by transcendental? Which are trans-empirical entities, which are beyond perception, which are beyond experience, which are beyond space and time, or which are beyond sense organs. You can say in one sense, they are known as transcendental entities. And what are those entities? God, soul, liberation, heaven, hell, etc. These are transcendental entities, and these entities are rejected by Charvaka. Should be clear. Clear, Anish? Okay. Clear? Okay. Now, one by one, we are going to see. Note down your free speech, Charvaka. And first topic, note down theory of knowledge. Bracket epistemology. And here you may write beginning. Beginning of Charvaka philosophy is from theory of knowledge. It is the starting point of Charvaka's philosophy. Is it clear? Okay. So Charvaka philosophy begins. कहाँ से शुरू होता है? Theory of knowledge. If you will see the syllabus, Charvaka philosophy, first of all, we have to study theory of knowledge. So this one is the beginning of Charvaka's philosophy. And here we'll discuss different aspects of knowledge, for example, source of knowledge, etc. Two aspects of theory of knowledge. Two aspects. What are the two aspects? Phrase page पे लिखोगे आप, बिल्कुल phrase page. One page, it will take one page. Two aspects. First one is affirmative aspect. Affirmative aspect. Or you can say positive aspect. You are going to accept something. Second one is negative aspect. You refuted something. Refutation. Refutation. Negative aspect. Affirmative and negative. In theory of knowledge, Charvakas have accepted something and they have negated something, refuted something. So these are the two important aspects of theory of knowledge of Charvaka philosophy. Affirmative aspects, they have accepted perception as the only source of valid knowledge. Perception is accepted as the only pramana. Perception is accepted as the only pramana. Only perception is accepted as pramana. लिख लोगे? First of all, I am going to explain two topics in short overall, and then I will elaborate theory of knowledge, and after that, rejection of transcendental entities. These two topics are prescribed. And after completing Charvaka's philosophy, even we'll see previous year's question, possible question. Whatever the question related from Charvaka, you will be able to write. In which university, in which department, doesn't matter. In which PCS exam, doesn't matter. IAS हो, PCS हो, कोई भी PCS हो. चाहे BPSC हो, चाहे जम्मू कश्मीर PCS हो, able to write. if question related to this particular topic. See, two aspect, affirmative and negative. Affirmative aspect accepted perception as the only pramana. Pramana means source of valid knowledge. It's a technical term, pramana, source of valid knowledge. Note down. Perception is accepted as the only source of valid knowledge. It means that through perception only we can find valid knowledge. We can find valid knowledge only through perception, not through any other source accepted by Charvaka. Perception accepted as the only pramana. Here perception is defined as in terms of sense, object, contact. Sense, object, contact. In this particular sense, perception is defined. Note down. Perception is defined as sense, object, contact. Your sense organs are coming into contact with this marker, you are getting perception of this marker. Your sense organ, this object, and now contact is going. Contact agar hata denge, you are unable to find perception of marker. Since your eyes are not coming into contact with marker right now. Now contact, you are getting perception of this marker. So, in which way the term perception is defined by Charvaka? Charvakas have defined perception. Indriya Stanikas Janyam Pratyaksham. Perception is that which is originated through sense, object, contact. Sense, organs, object, contact, you can say. Contact is must. And see, sense organs are of 5 types. 5 types of sense organs. Eyes, nose, skin, tongue, ear, etc. 5 kinds of sense organs. That's why 5 kinds of perception are accepted by them. 5 kinds of perception. For example, eyes, visual perception. Through eyes, if you are getting knowledge, it is visual perception. Through skin, tactual perception. 5 kinds of sense organs. That's why 5 kinds of perceptions are accepted by Charvaka philosophy. And they have defined perception in terms of sense, object, contact. When our sense organs come into contact with object, we find perception of that object. Should be clear. And this one is the only pramana, means source of valid knowledge. This is the affirmative aspect of Charvaka's philosophy in theory of knowledge. Negative aspects, note down. Refuted validity of anumana, inference. Inference is not a source of valid knowledge. Sabda or verbal testimony. Validity of verbal testimony, validity of sabda or verbal testimony is rejected. Refutation of validity of sabda is rejected by them, etc. So they have accepted only perception as a pramana and rejected validity of inference, verbal testimony, etc. So this one is the negative aspect. And this particular rejection of validity of anumana, most important aspect of Charvaka's epistemology or Charvaka's theory of knowledge. Epistemology. Most important aspect of Charvaka's epistemology, and put a star here, rejection of inference. Rejection of validity of inference. Rejection of validity of inference. This one is the most important aspect. So मान लो अगर कभी क्वेश्चन आ जाए, explain theory of knowledge of Charvaka's philosophy. Explain theory of knowledge of Charvaka's philosophy. So you have to write, or you have to give a special emphasis कि how Charvakas have rejected validity of inference. अगर मान लो 100 वर्ड्स पे आ जाए कि explain Charvaka's theory of knowledge, 200 words, तो around 120 words or around 100 words you have to invest, especially in this part. How Charvakas have rejected validity of inference. This one is the unique feature of Charvaka's philosophy. Unique feature. Apart from Charvaka, In all other philosophical system, apart from perception, at least this one is also accepted. It is accepted by all. Inference is a source of valid knowledge, except Charvaka. So this one is the unique position. Charvakas have rejected validity of inference. So whenever you will find any question from theory of knowledge of Charvaka, you have to give a special emphasis on this part. ऐसे भी पूछ दे theory of knowledge, so no need to write this particular part in detail, each and everything, short. Charvakas have accepted perception as a pramana. It's not a unique aspect. Perception is accepted by all. All other philosophical systems have even accepted perception as a source of valid knowledge. No need to write like that, Anish Kumar. If a person has no sense organs, उसका eyes होगा, nose होगा, कुछ तो होगा. Why you are thinking like that? Anish Kumar, if a person has no sense organ working, will the word cease to exist for each person according? No need to think regarding that. No need. Perception, just try and understand what you have to write in examination. All that is sufficient. No need to think from their specific point of view. No need. जरूरत ही नहीं, आज तक नहीं पढ़ा, आगे भी नहीं पढ़ेगा. Think in which way they have propounded their thought. So if theory of knowledge is asked, you have to write, you have to give a special emphasis on this part, how Charvakas have rejected validity of inference. Since this one is accepted by all, Charvakas have rejected Sabda Pramana. It is rejected by some others also. Charvakas have accepted perception as a source of valid knowledge. It is accepted by all. So it's not unique position of Charvakas philosophy. Uniqueness Charvaka का ये है, Charvaka is the only philosophical system where validity of inference is rejected. How they have rejected, we'll write in detail. हटा लो, जितना बताऊं उतना ही पढ़ लो गौतम कुमार, and go through whatever the exam question, if questions are related to philosophy, able to write. डिबेट में नहीं जाएंगे, जहां से डिबेट शुरू होता फिर एंडलेस डिबेट हो जाएगा. नंबर ऑफ प्लेसेस एंडलेस डिबेट, सो यू विल नॉट, नो नीड टू राइट दोज थिंग्स. So see, this one is the first part of Charvaka's philosophy, theory of knowledge. In theory of knowledge, first part, affirmative aspect, you have to write perception as a source of valid knowledge, meaning, definition of perception, types of perception, etc. It means this one is affirmative aspect. And negative aspects, you will refute validity of inference, you will refute verbal testimony, etc. And this part is playing pivotal role in Charvaka's epistemology. So in process of writing questions, if question related to theory of knowledge, write a lot of things or give a special emphasis on refutation of validity of inference. Unique aspect, unique position. Only Charvakas have rejected. First part. Clear? Now. See, theory of knowledge के ठीक नीचे एरो देकर आप नोट करो रिजल्ट और आउटकम. What's the outcome of this theory of knowledge? Outcome in the field of metaphysics. Note down metaphysics. Metaphysics means theory of reality. Or you may write entities also. Entities. Metaphysics. In one sense, you may write entities, theory of entities or theory of reality. Result. अब इसके बाद एरो देकर यहाँ, what will be the result? If you will accept perception as the only pramana, and if you are going to negate inference, verbal testimony, etc., validity negated, then what will be the outcome in the field of metaphysics? Metaphysics means theory of reality. Next, here we have written theory of knowledge. Two parts, affirmative and negative, and this one is discussed. Now, theory of knowledge outcome or result in the field of metaphysics. So, metaphysics again two aspects, note down. Metaphysics or theory of reality. Affirmative aspect, negative aspect. So, affirmative aspect, accepted empirical realities. Accepted, affirmative, accepted empirical reality. Accepted world as real. This world as real. Accepted reality of this world. Accepted reality of this world. Jagat is real. Jagat. Jagat means world is real. This world is made of, this Jagat is made of four kinds of material elements. Four kinds of material elements. Since four types of material elements, that's why this philosophy is known as pluralism. Pluralism. Many realities, four kinds. And since all those realities are material reality, that's why materialism. Pluralistic materialism is accepted by them. All realities are material in nature, that's why materialism. And four kinds of realities are accepted, that's why pluralism. So this one is the affirmative aspect. They have accepted empirical entities. They have accepted world as real. This world is real according to Charvaka. Why? It's a matter of perception. We find perception. This one is a perceptual world, empirical world. We find perception. It is possible to find perception of pain. Accepted empirical realities means pain, table, chair, book. These are empirical entities through experience possible to find. We find perception of such kind of things. Negative aspect, rejection of transcendental entities. Rejection of transcendental entities. What are those transcendental entities? God, soul, heaven and hell, liberation, rebirth, previous birth. These are transcendental entities. Transcendental entity means beyond perception, beyond sense organs, beyond space and time, beyond experience. These are transcendental entities and these are rejected. Why rejected? Since they are never perceived. See here, affirmative aspect, perception, and negative aspects, negated inference. I will discuss this one in detail. Inference rejected, verbal testimony, sabd rejected. Verbal testimony means sabda. Also rejected by them. एक बार ठीक से देखना. अभी रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी I will explain. Let me complete this part. Affirmative negation types of this theory of knowledge. Affirmative negative, what it means, must be aware, Rimjim Chaturvedi. In theory of knowledge, they have accepted something and they have negated something. Charvakas have accepted perception as the source of valid knowledge and refuted validity of inference, verbal testimony, etc. So one thing they have accepted, second thing they have negated. So these are the two aspects of their theory of knowledge. If question is asked, explain theory of knowledge of Charvaka's philosophy, you will write this perception as a source of valid knowledge, and even you will refute it, inference, verbal testimony, etc. You will refute validity. देखो, रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी. Once again, सारे लोग बोलना. चार्वाका फिलोसफी कहां से शुरू होता है? एपिस्टेमोलॉजी से. सारे लोग बोलोगे एक बार की. अभी समझ में आएगा बिन्नू मीना. Just wait. What is the first topic in Charvaka's philosophy? Theory of knowledge. It means that first of all, they have discussed different aspects regarding knowledge. Try to focus. Binu Mishra, Rimjim Chaturvedi and others. So very beginning they have said perception is the source of valid knowledge. It means that we can accept only those things which are perceived. They have rejected inference, verbal testimony. These are not source of valid knowledge. They are not pramana. ये प्रमाण नहीं है. Praman means they are not source of valid knowledge. According to Charvaka, not other places. Clear? Now think logically. Rimjim Chaturvedi or Binu Mishra and others. If perception is the source of valid knowledge, अगर केवल perception ही source है valid knowledge का, will you accept this world or not? सारे लोग बोलो yes or no में. Will you accept this world? Will you accept marker as real? Will you accept wall as real? Book as real? Table chairs are real? Will you accept or not? सारे लोग बोलो. Will you accept this world or jagat as real or not? Yes or no में बोलो. Yes or no में. Binu Mishra. Yes. Okay. Others. और दोनों भी तुम लोग भी बोलो रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी एंड बीनू मिश्रा. विल यू एक्सेप्ट वर्ल्ड एज रियल और नॉट? अभिषेक बोल रहे हैं कि नो. अच्छा ठीक है. सी दिस वर्ल्ड इज रियल सिंस वी आर गेटिंग परसेप्शन ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाय चार्वाका. परसेप्शन इज द सोर्स ऑफ वैलिड नॉलेज एंड वी फाइंड परसेप्शन ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. इन दिस वर्ल्ड वी आर परसीविंग लॉट ऑफ नॉलेज. दिस साइड वॉल, दीवार दिख रही है, इधर सामने कैमरा दिख रहा है, इधर टेबल है, चेयर है, मार्कर है. दीज आर वर्ल्डली ऑब्जेक्ट्स एंड वी आर गेटिंग परसेप्शन. हम वी आर परसीविंग दिस वन. वी आर गेटिंग परसेप्शन थ्रू आवर सेंस ऑर्गन्स. यस और नो? हाउ कैन यू से नहीं पता सर रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी? आर यू एबल टू परसीव दिस मार्कर और नॉट? बोलो. दिख रहा है मार्कर? नजदीक से देखो. आर यू एबल टू परसीव? This marker is black. Are you getting knowledge? How you are getting knowledge? How you are getting knowledge? This marker is black. It's imagine this one is a marker and it is black. Are you getting knowledge? How you are getting this knowledge? Through which means you are getting knowledge? Through eyes, through sense organs. You are perceiving this one. जैसे मैं कहूँ, it's a diary, a small diary. Are you getting knowledge of this diary? You can say yes. How? You are perceiving this one. You are getting experience of this one. Your eyes are coming into contact with this diary and you are getting perception. Yes, it's a small diary. What's the problem? Rimjim Chaturvedi. बोलो. एकदम कूल हेड बैठो. बगल में म्यूजिक का साउंड म्यूजिक नहीं आना चाहिए कि उधर में कोई वेस्टर्न म्यूजिक चल रहा हो, इधर फिलॉसफी पढ़ रहे हो, तब तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी. इट्स ए वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. सो perception is the source of valid knowledge. We will accept this world as real. We will accept these are real. Table, chair, board, pen, pencil. These are real. Basically, we find perception. We find experience. And this world is, it is said by Charvaka, world is made of 4 kinds of material elements. What are those material elements? Earth, air, water, fire. Earth, air, water, fire. Now, Binu Mishra. See, Anish Kumar. Anish. यही तो मैं बताने जा रहा हूं. विजुअल परसेप्शन. Anish Kumar, I will explain this one detail. Why they have not accepted inference as a source of valid knowledge. Why they have not accepted verbal testimony as a source of valid knowledge. We will explain this one in detail. Very beginning, I am just explaining in theory of knowledge, you have to study perception as a source of valid knowledge. And in theory of knowledge, you have to write negation of validity of knowledge, validity of inference. You have to refute validity of Shabda Pramana. How inference is rejected, I will discuss in detail. बट पहले जान तो लो क्या पढ़ना है इस पार्ट्स में। चार्वाका के हिसाब से यस। यस अकॉर्डिंग टू चार्वाका। अब देखो ये बोल रहा है कि बगल में कोई जगराता चल रहा है, साइड में कोई जगराता चल रहा है, उसका नाम पर सबको डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है स्पीकर्स लगा के। ठीक है, तो फोकस योर सेल्फ ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पॉसिबल। ओके, सो नाउ Rimjim and Binu, if once you will accept perception as a source of valid knowledge, and you have negated already, inference will not accept, verbal testimony will not accept, so will you accept God, soul, etc. or not? Will you accept God? If very beginning you have, if you have accepted, the term if you have accepted, or if anyone has accepted, has perception as the only source of valid knowledge, so will you accept God, soul, rebirth, heaven, hell, etc. or not? बोलो आप। अभी देखेंगे ईथर को, आगे आगे मत जाओ सागरिका सिंह। We'll discuss in detail ether is, why ether is negated. But I am asking you, try to answer. If perception is the source of valid knowledge, will you accept God, soul, rebirth, heaven, hell or not? अनीस बोल रहे नहीं, और सारे लोग बोलो। यस, अनीस कुमार बोलो नो, नो, यस, ओके। तो बीनू मिश्रा कहाँ गए? नो, यस, हरप्रीत सिंह बोले कि नो, यस। But if it is asked why you will not accept God, soul, etc., why you will not accept, why? So your first answer will be perception is the source of valid knowledge, and since we never find any perception of God, soul, heaven, hell, liberation, etc., that's why they are rejected. So why they are rejected? Since we never find any perception. Very straightforward. You must be aware, wherever God, soul, heaven, hell, liberations are accepted, they are accepted on the basis of inference or verbal testimony. Those who have accepted God, for example, Nayayikas, etc., they have accepted God not on the basis of perception. Basically, they have accepted God on the basis of inference. And here, inference is rejected. Even God, soul are accepted on the basis of Sabda Pramalaj. Here, verbal testimony is also rejected. So, since we can't accept existence of God, soul, etc., on the basis of inference, verbal testimony, since they are not pramalaj, they are not source of valid knowledge, so we can't accept these transcendental entities. These are trans-empirical entities. So, if you will accept Charvaka's epistemology and think logically, imagine in theory of knowledge, imagine, just think from the point of view of Charvaka. Imagine you have accepted Charvaka. And what is accepted by Charvaka? In theory of accepted perception, rejected this thing. So which you will accept? You will automatically accept world as real, and you will refute heaven, hell, all are, you will negate all those things. Why? Not perceived. Even we can't accept these things on the basis of inference and verbal testimony. Why? Since they are not valid, they are not source of valid knowledge. In this way, you will reject transcendental entities. So rejection of transcendental entities is the outcome, result of theory of knowledge of Charvaka. If once you will accept theory of knowledge, result क्या होगा? Result क्या होगा? Refutation of transcendental entities. You will accept empirical entities and reject transcendental entities. See, we have written theory of knowledge accepted, perception rejected, inference verbal. What will be the result? What will be the result in metaphysics or theory of reality? Result क्या होगा? Result ये होगा कि in metaphysics you will accept some realities, world, etc. You will accept, and you will negate transcendentality. This one is the result of theory of knowledge. तो थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज का सीधा कॉन्टेक्ट रिजेक्शन ऑफ ट्रांसेंडेंटल एंटिटीज से, डायरेक्ट कॉन्टेक्ट है. यस और नो? यस, यस सौरभ, ऋषुराज, Rimjim, I can't perceive, that's why it can't be accepted. Clear? So, rejection of transcendental entities is the outcome of a result of theory of knowledge of Charvaka philosophy. देखो चारवाक का मैं आईएएस का सवाल दिखाता हूं. अभी 17 जनवरी को पूछा ये 2021 में, 2022 17 जनवरी 2022 21 का क्वेश्चन था, 10 मार्क्स का था, कंपल्सरी में था 2021 का. कितना आसानी से लिख सकते हो. कमेंट ऑन द बियरिंग ऑफ चारवाकाज एपिस्टेमोलॉजी, चारवाकाज थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज or epistemology in place of theory of knowledge. The term epistemology is used on the rejection of transcendental entities by them. So once you will accept theory of knowledge, its result will be rejection of transcendental entities. And what's the transcendental entities? God, soul, etc. What do you mean by transcendental entities? Which are beyond perception, beyond experience, trans-empirical, beyond space and time. These are transcendental entities. Why these are rejected? Since in epistemology, Charvaka have accepted only perception, rejected verbal testimony and inference, etc. 21. 21 का सवाल है, अभी हुआ है. Able to write? And I have not discussed Charvaka in detail so far. Only elementary discussion abhi. And it's not a new question, it's a repetition. 24 number सवाल. See, in 2015, one question was asked, explain the arguments of Charvaka to reject transcendental entities. In 2015, 15 marks का question आया. And basically, they have rejected transcendental entities on the basis of their theory of knowledge, on the basis of, since they have accepted perception and rejected inference, verbal testimony. And that's why they have rejected transcendental entities. 2015, IAS, Civil Services, 15 marks का question, and now 2021. वही क्वेश्चन है, थोड़ा मॉडिफाई तो करेगा ना. Comment the bearing of Charvaka's epistemology on the rejection of transcendental entities. वहां entities दे दिया, एंटिटीज दे दिया, वहां पे भी एंटिटीज है. ट्रांसेंडेंटल एंटिटीज, ट्रांसेंडेंटल एंटिटी मींस एंटिटीज व्हिच आर बियॉन्ड एक्सपीरियंस, बियॉन्ड परसेप्शन, बियॉन्ड स्पेस एंड टाइम, बियॉन्ड सेंस ऑर्गन. एग्जांपल गॉड, सोल, हेवन, हेल एटसेट्रा. रिजेक्टेड बाय नॉट परसीव्ड. लिख दो डिटेल में इसी को, क्या दिक्कत है. आकाश अलग से देखेंगे, हाउ दे रिजेक्ट कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ आकाश. क्लियर? फॉर एग्जांपल सी 2010, discuss the theory of knowledge according to Charvaka's philosophy. The theory of knowledge, two aspects. First of all, you will write perception is the source of value knowledge. How, why you will write. And they have rejected inference. How rejected? What's are the arguments? How rejected verbal testimony? Perfect हो जाएगा. Theory of knowledge complete. Clear? ठीक है, next. Is it clear? Abhishek Mishra, very beginning, don't try to say anything. Charvaka's view is not balanced approach. I have not discussed a lot so far. Let me complete and then finally we'll write ki Charvaka's approach is not balanced approach. Very beginning, no need to think against Charvaka. First of all, think according to Charvaka. And ultimately we'll refute it. Charvaka's philosophy we are not going to support. But very beginning, don't try to write ki not balanced approach. First of all, go through what is said by them, on which ground they have accepted such kind of things, and then start to refute it. Clear, Abhishek Mishra? अभी शुरुआत में मत बोलो, बाद में बोलना. So, Charvaka's philosophy, first of all, theory of knowledge or epistemology, outcome, result or outcome. In metaphysics, two things. Accepted something, Jagat is accepted by them, this world is accepted. Rejected, transcendental entities rejected. Now again, in main structure itself, outcome or result or outcome in ethics. Ethics में क्या outcome आता है? If you will accept in theory of knowledge, if you will accept only perception, you will refute inference, verbal testimony, rejected. In metaphysics, accepted Jagat as real and rejected God, soul, rebirth, immortality of soul, heaven, hell, all such kind of things are rejected. So what will be the result outcome in ethics? Ethics का भी दो पार्ट बना लो. Ethics. In ethical sphere, due to such kind of thoughts they have accepted in theory of knowledge and metaphysics, in ethical sphere, affirmative aspects, they have accepted only earth and karma out of four. Earth and karma. There are four purusarthas in Indian philosophical tradition. Out of four, accepted only two. Earth means wealth, karma means physical pleasure. Only two things are accepted as an aim of our life, earth and karma. This one is accepted by most of the person in this world. Present society, Charvaki society. Most of the persons have accepted wealth, earn wealth by hook or by crook, and invest that wealth for physical pleasure, to satisfy physical desire. These two things are accepted as aim in ethical sphere. By whom? By Charvaka. Second, earth and karma. Next. In ethical sphere, they have accepted eat, drink and be merry. Khao piyo mauj udao. Eat, drink and be merry. Khao piyo mauj udao. They have ethical sphere, they have accepted. Khao piyo mauj udao. This one is accepted by them in ethical sphere. Clear? Here it is accepted that calm is the highest aim of our life. Calm is the highest aim, end of our life, and earth is a means to actualize it. It's a means. Earth means है और karma end है. In Purusartha, liberation is accepted as end, and others are accepted as means. Charvaka's karma is accepted as end of our life, aim of our life, ultimate aim of our life, and earth is the means in ethical sphere. Accepted eat, drink, and be merry. An ethical point of view, they have supported one more point here. This worldly, our own physical pleasure as the highest aim of our life, Note down. Ethical point of view, Charvakas have accepted this worldly, our own physical pleasure as the highest aim of our life. Note down. This one is the ethics of Charvaka's philosophy. इसी वर्ल्ड में अपना फिजिकल प्लेजर ही हाईएस्ट एम है. They have supported gross form of egoistic hedonism. They have supported gross egoistic hedonism. from ethical point of view. Hedonism means pleasure is the highest aim. Egoistic means our own pleasure. Gross means physical pleasure, not refined pleasure. Gross pleasure, gross. Ethical point of view, Charvakas have supported gross egoistic hedonism, our own physical pleasure as the highest aim of our life, said by Charvaka. Rimjim Chaturvedi, Indian philosophy is very easy. कितना आसान है, खाओ पियो मौज उड़ाओ. You have to write, this one is the ethics of Charvaka's philosophy, very popular philosophy, highly logical and are connected to our life, associated with our life. Very beginning, don't make up your mind. It's a tough or don't create some negative aspects in your mind. Once you will create something in your mind, you go to that particular thought, now you will start to guide. एकदम खुले दिमाग से पढ़ो ना, क्या दिक्कत है? डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड यही तो आसान है, खूब आसान है. कितना आसान है. अगर मैं पूछूं किसी से, कि if you will accept perception as a source of valid knowledge, so which you will accept? What type of things you will accept? कहेगा जगत को मानेंगे, yes, जगत is real. मैं पूछूं गॉड को मानोगे, कहेगा कि नहीं मानेंगे. मैं पूछूं क्यों, वाई, कहेगा पसिव नहीं होता है वो. सोल नॉट पसिव, हेवन नॉट पसिव, हेल नॉट पसिव, लिबरेशन नॉट पसिव, दैट्स व्हाई रिजेक्टेड. कितना आसान है. एंड व्हाट विल बी द रिजल्ट इन इथिक्स? Ethics, this world is the last world, this life is the last life, इसके बाद का कोई लाइफ नहीं है. कितनी अच्छी बात बोलता है चार्वाका. Now a number of persons are trying to find heaven or paradise or swarga. They are always searching swarga or heaven or paradise or jannat, and on the name of such kind of aim, they are creating some sort of problem in this life. In religious sphere, heaven and hell are accepted. बहुत सारे लोग जाने के चक्कर में वहीं पे हेवन में, स्वर्ग में. एंड वंस यू विल रीड द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ हेवन, हेवन का और पैराडाइज का और स्वर्ग का और जन्नत का, इफ विल गो थ्रू व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल देयर, इफ विल वंस यू विल ट्राई टू रीड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फैसिलिटीज आर अवेलेबल, आपका मन इस धरती पे नहीं लगेगा, मन करेगा वहीं जाए. And such kind of things are discussed by most of the religions. उन लोगों ने क्रिएट कर रखा है कि वहां जाओ, वहां, यहां कहां फंसे हुए. तो कई लोग स्केप्टिक कॉन्सेप्ट अपनाते हैं, एटीट्यूड अपनाते हैं कि यहां से हटो, वहां जाओ. And different religions, such kind of things are accepted. What is said by Charvaka? It is said by Charvaka in ethical sphere. It is said by him, those who are in pleasant condition in this universe, they are in heaven, and those who are getting suffering in this life, they are in hell. So heaven and hell are in this universe itself. They are not transcendental entities. They are not beyond this world. इसी वर्ल्ड में हेवन है, इसी वर्ल्ड में हेल भी है. Those who are living with pleasure, with happiness, it means कि they are in heaven in this universe. अब कई लोगों का कंडीशन बहुत खराब है. This world itself, they are in hell. Said by whom? Charvaka. Very good thought. Abhishek Mishra, Charvaka, borrow and take ghee. After borrowing, man is also getting tension. लोन, आप लोन लेने में क्या दिक्कत है? इंडियन गवर्नमेंट लोन दे रही है. अब SBI लोन देती है, गाड़ी का लोन लो, मकान लोन लो, एजुकेशन लोन लो, होम लोन लो, एंड मेक योर लाइफ फुल ऑफ हैप्पीनेस. व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम? चार्वाका फिलॉसफी इज वेरी हेल्पफुल फॉर इकोनॉमी. ये पुष्ट करता है इकोनॉमी को, ये डिमांड को इंक्रीज करता है, प्रोडक्शन को बढ़ाता है, एंड इन दिस वे इट इज हेल्पफुल फॉर इकोनॉमी. Charvaka is also, they have their importance. That's why they are the part of our syllabus. See, is it clear, Abhishek Mishra? Rimjim Chatru, why are you looking at result of epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics? See, although we are living in this society, although you are also living in family, or surrounded by persons, different kinds of persons, but time to time, in our individual life, we all are alone. Time to time, we find why we have existence in this world, how this world is made, who has made this world, what is our aim in this life. Time to time, we'll find such kind of things will start in your mind. And once such kind of things will start in your mind, now it means you are philosophizing. You are in philosophy. How we find right knowledge? A lot of discussion. It's an important aspect. How we find the right knowledge. So if we'll start to discuss how we find right knowledge, so theory of knowledge will start. The whole world is made of who has made, how this world is made. Sometimes we find such kind of curiosity in our life. Yeah, whenever you will find some sort of pain in your life or suffering, लगता है कि life में क्या है? What is happening in our life? What's the aim of our life? So, aim of our life, such kind of things are discussed by philosophy. How this world is made, how we find the right knowledge, what's our aim. If we discuss how this world is made, who has made, it means कि in metaphysics. How we find right knowledge, it means कि in epistemology. What's our aim, what we ought to do, not ought to do, it means कि in ethics. These are the part of our life, and a lot of discussion we'll find in philosophy. Yes, Harpreet Singh, those who have right about heaven, highly greedy and hunger for pleasure. अरे ठीक है अभिषेक मिश्रा, ज्यादा बुद्धि मत लगाओ, लोन के साथ चक्रवृद्धि ब्याज और वो सब होता है, टाइम पे चुका दो ना. व्हाट इज सेड बाय देम. अब दूसरे दिशा में मत जाओ. इन व्हाट्स देयर थॉट, दे हैव सेड कि टेक लोन एंड मेक योर लाइफ फुल ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, एंड उसको भी चुकता कर दो लोन को. आवर मेन एम इज टू फाइंड हैप्पीनेस इन आवर लाइफ. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि हैप्पीनेस नहीं है लोगों में, जीवन में, लाइफ में. एंड वी आर, हमारा कंडीशन बहुत हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स में लो है वर्ल्ड वाइड. फिनलैंड टॉप पे है, हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स में हम लोग बड़े खराब पोजीशन पे हैं. If you will go through philosophy, Jim Chaturvedi, you will find a lot of things, how we should regulate our life, what is the aim of our life, what kind of deeds we should perform in our life. Negative में ये है, they have denied liberation, they have even denied values. Initially, they have denied dharma and moksha, they have denied in ethical sphere. They have denied rebirth also, no rebirth, no liberation and rebirth, etc. are denied by them. बफरिंग हो रहा है, देखो एक बार. ऑडियो वीडियो क्लियर है? एनी प्रॉब्लम? एनी प्रॉब्लम? और ऑडियो वीडियो क्लियर है? मनीष कुमार क्लियर है? यस. हरप्रीत सिंह बोल रहे हैं क्लियर है. बफरिंग कहाँ है? क्लियर. सी फॉर एग्जाम्पल, in 2000 one question was asked, ethics of Charvaka school. So you may write that Charvaka ethics is the outcome of their epistemological and metaphysical aspects. What they have accepted in their epistemology and metaphysics, तो इसका logical outcome है उनका ethics. Imagine you have denied soul, you have denied God, you have denied rebirth. It means you will accept this life as the only life, and you will give much more emphasis on physical pleasure in place of spiritual pleasure, spiritual happiness. So in ethical sphere, their Charvaka's ethics is the outcome of their epistemological and metaphysical position. And in ethics, they have accepted this worldly, our own physical pleasure as the highest aim of our life. Out of four purusarthas, accepted only two. Accepted Kam as highest purusartha, highest aim, and accepted earth as a means to actualize it. They have said eat, drink, and be merry. Not accepted liberation as the highest aim. Even denied values initially. This was the ethics of Charvaka's philosophy. प्रॉब्लम क्या है लिखने में? लिख देंगे. क्लियर? इज इट क्लियर? सारे लोग बोलो पहले. यू मस्ट बी अवेयर. चारवाकाज में हम लोगों को फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू स्टडी थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज. थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज, व्हाट वी हैव टू राइट? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल परसेप्शन, एक्सेप्टेड, इन्फरेंस, वर्बल टेस्टिमनी और शब्द प्रमाणा रिजेक्टेड. आउटकम in metaphysics, accepted empirical entities, accepted jagat, accepted sansar, accepted refuted transcendental entities, rejected. What are transcendental entities? God, soul, liberation. Outcome in ethics, accepted something, earth and kama, accepted this worldly own, our own physical pleasure, eat, drink and be merry, rejected liberation, rejected rebirth, etc. In short, we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss in detail. Now I am going to explain those things in detail. Detail means what is inference, how it is rejected by them, what kind of argument Charvakas have given to reject, how they have rejected verbal testimony, how they have rejected these things. Now we are going to write in detail. In short, overall development I have discussed. Is it clear? पहले सारे लोग बोलो, is it clear? Yes. Clear? Okay, clear? Now next. Now again fresh page. Now theory of knowledge. Charvaka's theory of knowledge. First topic, or epistemology. Theory of knowledge or epistemology. Now introduction. इसलिए आपने heading दे लिया, Charvaka's theory of knowledge, and now introduction. Left side corner, introduction. In one by one we are going to write. Then we'll write again few words, again few points here. In this way we'll make our chart. क्लियर है? एक बार बोलो सारे लोग, इज इट क्लियर? इज इट क्लियर? Note down introduction. According to demand we'll write introduction, otherwise you will, हम लोग इसको हटा देंगे. अगर 10 मार्क्स का 15 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है, then no need to write this particular part. If 10 marks or 15 marks questions like that. अगर बीपीएससी में 50 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन आता है, वन क्वेश्चन 50 मार्क्स, 50 नंबर का, at that time you may write all such kind of things. Otherwise आप उसको इलिमिनेट कर दोगे, ब्रैकेटाइज्ड कर दोगे. इंट्रोडक्शन. इंट्रोडक्शन. फर्स्ट पॉइंट, चारवाका फिलॉसफी. हेट्रोडॉक्स. Heterodox. Note down. It's a kind of introduction. Heterodox. Denial of validity of Vedas. Second. Atheist. Denial of existence of God. Denial of validity of Vedas. Heterodox. Atheist. Denial of Existence of God. Existence of God. Materialism. Materialism. Ultimate realities are material in nature. Material realities are accepted as ultimate reality, nature. Ultimate realities are material in nature. Next, materialism. Next, pluralism. 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 Many realities are accepted as ultimate reality. Many realities are accepted as ultimate realities. What are those many realities? Earth, air, water, and fire. Total four. Four means many. More than two means many. Negative aspects not accepted liberation as the highest aim. They have not given emphasis on values, negative aspects of ethics of Charvaka's philosophy. Why we should do good for others if this life is the last life? To make your life full of happiness, taking a loan and some other things also. Pluralism. Next, realist. They have supported realism. Realism means object exists outside, independent from knower. Realistic philosophy. Realism is supported by Charvaka. Realism. Realism. Next, positivism. Perception is accepted as only pramana. Perception is accepted as only pramana. And much more emphasis is given on perception. Positivism or positivistic philosophy. Positivistic. Given much more emphasis on empirical experiences. Much more emphasis on experience. Sense experience. Clear? Is it clear? Okay. So introduction aspect you may write. Charvaka's के बगल में you may write. Charvaka's philosophy is also known as Lokayat philosophy. Lokayat means extended in public. Lok में विस्तार, extended in common man. Extended. Lokayat darshan, it is also known as Lokayat darshan. Lokayat. L-O-K-A-Y-A-T. Lokayat. लोकायत मीन्स लोकायत, लोक में विस्तारित, संसार में विस्तारित, एक्सटेंडेड इन दिस वर्ल्ड. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज आल्सो नोन एज लोकायत. चार्वाका मीन्स लोकायत. And this was the only materialistic philosophy in Indian tradition. Pure materialistic philosophy. Logical positivist, able to explain worldly objects in a proper manner, must be aware. This one is supported by science also. In science also you will find such kind of thing. Auguste Comte is accepted in Western tradition as the father of positivism. Scientific experience is the best way to find knowledge. Experience is the main way to find knowledge. Must be aware. Clear? So this one is introduction. Now introduction note down. Beginning of Charvaka philosophy. Or the starting point of Charvaka's philosophy. Beginning. So note down. चार्वाका का जो बिगिनिंग है वह थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज से. थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज ब्रैकेट में एपिस्टेमोलॉजी इज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ a beginning point of Charvaka's philosophy or the starting point of Charvaka philosophy. Epistemology is the starting point of Charvaka's philosophy. And second, According to their epistemology, they have tried to propound their metaphysical and ethical aspect. According to their epistemology, according to their theory of knowledge, they have tried to propound metaphysical and ethical aspect. Clear? Beginning theory of knowledge. Clear? बोलो, is it clear? Next, theory of beginning में ही. In their theory of knowledge, accepted perception as the only pramana. Note down. Accepted perception as the only pramana, that is source of valid knowledge. Accepted. Accepted perception as the only pramana. Accepted perception as the only pramana, that is source of valid knowledge. Now main structure beginning के बाद perception. First of all, introduction, 5-6 lines. Beginning, Charvaka philosophy begins from theory of knowledge, and according to their theory of knowledge, they have tried to propound their metaphysical and ethical thoughts. In their theory of knowledge, they have accepted perception as the only pramana. Now, what do you mean by perception? Types of perception. Next. Perception. Perception. First point. Charvaka have accepted perception as the only pramana. Pramana means source of valid. Perception is accepted as a pramana. Pramana means source of valid knowledge or valid cognition. In which way the term perception is defined? Note down. Charvakas have defined the term perception in the sense of sense-object contact. Sense contact object. Then we find perception. When our sense organs come into contact with object, then we find perception of that object. In Sanskrit it is said, Indriyat sannikasajanyam jnanam pratyaksham. Perception is that which we find through the contact between sense organ and object. Right now your sense organs are coming into contact with this marker. You are getting perception of this marker. Must be aware. Sense organ object contact is must for perception. It should be clear. So how many things are required? How many things are required for perception? Required for perception. How many things are required for perception? 3 things. Sense organs, object, and third one is contact. Then we find perception. 3 things are required. Sense organs are of 5 types. Sense organs are of 5 types. 5 types. 5 types. That's why sense organs are of 5 types. That's why 5 kinds of sense perception. 5 kinds of perceptions are accepted by Charvaka. What are those 5 kinds of sense organs? Eyes, nose, ear, tongue, skin. And in this way, you will find 5 kinds of perception also. For example, eyes, you will find visual perception. The same manner, other forms of perception, you can take help of printed notes. Visual perception, ear, auditory perception, nose, olfactory perception, gustatory perception, and skin, tactual perception. Printed notes. ये अभी तक कभी लिखने का मौका नहीं मिला, हटा सकते हो, बट some factual things these are. Eyes, visual, nose से जो perception आता है वो auditory nose से है, olfactory perception, auditory perception ear से है, tactual है skin से, और gustatory perception है tongue से, gustatory perception from tongue. So see, Charvakas have accepted perception as a source of valid knowledge. They have accepted perception as a pramana. Perception is defined in terms of sense-object contact. So three things are required for perception: sense organs, object, contact. Since 5 kinds of sense organ, that's why 5 kinds of perception are accepted by them. That's all. Complete. This part complete. ये पार्ट कंप्लीट होता है. परसेप्शन क्या है? टाइप्स ऑफ परसेप्शन. Why we should accept perception as a pramana? After that, why we should accept? Why we should accept perception as a pramana? Why we should accept perception as pramana? So here you will write few points. इसको डालोगे ऊपर में. Why perception के सामने few points. We have discussed types and meaning and types. Now, why we should accept perception? Why perception as pramana? It is said by Charvakas that perception provides us reliable knowledge, valid knowledge, authentic knowledge, direct knowledge. For perception, no other pramanas are accepted. No other pramanas are accepted. Perception is a direct knowledge. After that, no any other pramanas are accepted. Nothing is required after that. It's a reliable knowledge, valid knowledge, authentic knowledge. It's a direct knowledge, and that's why perception is a pramana. Pramana means source of valid cognition. Why we should accept perception as a source of valid cognition? Since it provides us such kind of knowledge, reliable knowledge, जिसपे हम rely कर सकते, authentic knowledge, direct knowledge. Yes. Why we should accept perception as a pramana? Next, why perception is the only pramana? Why perception is the only pramana? Note down. In front of that, note down. Why perception is the only pramana? Note down. Since such kind of qualities are not available, since such kind of qualities are not present in other pramanas, since such kind of qualities are not present in other pramanas, that's why validity of other pramanas are rejected. That's why validity of other pramanas are rejected. That's why validity of other pramanas are rejected. Or one more line. When validity of other pramanas are rejected, then when validity of other pramanas are rejected, then it becomes established that inverted comma, perception is the only source of valid knowledge. Perception is the only source of valid knowledge. How it is established? How will establish this fact? When you will refute other pramanas. When you will establish this fact, when you will refute validity of other pramanas. Now think once again. See, Charvaka philosophy, perception is accepted as pramana. सारे लोग बोलना pramana means source of valid knowledge. Perception is a source of valid. Why perception is a pramana or source of valid knowledge? Since perception provides authentic knowledge, reliable knowledge, true knowledge, direct knowledge, or after getting perception, nothing is required. पर जब perceive ही कर लोगे तो कोई और प्रूफ की जरूरत नहीं है. Nothing is required after perception. So again, question is asked: why we should accept perception the only pramana? It is said such kind of qualities, authenticity, reliableness, truthfulness, direct knowledge, is not present in other pramanas. Not present in other pramanas. That's why rejected inference, verbal testimony, comparison, etc. And once you will refute validity of other pramanas, then you will become able to prove that perception is the only pramana. इस पे कई बार सवाल आया है, why perception is the only pramana? Since we will not accept other pramanas as pramanas, we will not accept inference as a pramana, we will not accept verbal testimony as a pramana, we will not accept comparison as a pramana. Once you will reject these, you will able to prove perception is the only pramana. See, first of all, why perception is a source of valid knowledge? Since perception provides such kind of qualities, and such kind of qualities are not present in other pramanas. You will reject inference, verbal testimony, and once you will reject, you will able to prove it is the only pramana. It should be clear. (2002) State and evaluate critically Charvaka's view that perception is the only valid source of knowledge. How we will prove perception is the only source of valid knowledge? Since the qualities which we find in perception, we do not find such kind of qualities in inference, verbal testimony, etc. Once you will refute other pramanas, then perception will become alone. This one is the alone as the source of valid knowledge. इस पे और भी सवाल आ चुका है. ECS में होगा. 2 में है perception is the only source of valid knowledge. It's clear. See here. 2091 में भी है. Why does Charvaka accept perception alone as the pramana? Perception alone. So alone तब होगा जब other pramanas को आप refute कर दो. Apart from perception, once you will refute other pramanas, so perception alone hoga as a source of valid knowledge. Then you will accept, yes, perception is alone as the source of valid knowledge. Since we can't accept validity of inference, this one. So if question is perception as the alone as the pramana, you have to refute validity of other pramanas. And once you will refute validity of other pramanas, then you will able to prove perception alone as the pramana. Bolo, is it clear? And after writing all those such kind of things, why perception is the only pramana? Since we do not find these attributes in inference, verbal testimony, comparison, etc. That's why they are rejected. So now in main structure, we are going to refute refutation of validity of inference. ये अब हम लोग करने जा रहे हैं. स्टार दे लो. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ चार्वाकाज एपिस्टेमोलॉजी. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ चार्वाकाज एपिस्टेमोलॉजी. रिफ्यूटेशन ऑफ वैलिडिटी ऑफ इन्फरेंस. द फर्स्ट पार्ट इज क्लियर. रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी चार्वाका कौन है? चार्वाका ऋषि भी हैं. नो एनी यूनानिमसली एक्सेप्टेड व्यू. It is said Charvaka was a rishi, propounded thought known as Charvaka. Second group has said Charvaka means Charuvaka, Sundar Vachan, sweet tongue. Since they have sweet tongue, that's why they are called Charvaka. Charvaka, sweet tongue, eat, drink and be merry. पियो पियो तब तक पियो जब तक धरती पे गिर न पड़ो. पित्वा पित्वा पुनः पित्वा यावत पतति भूतले. और यावत जीवेत सुखम जीवेत ऋणम कृत्वा घृणम पिबेत. जब तक जियो सुख से जियो और ऋण लेकर घी पियो. तो बड़ा अच्छी बातें बोल देता है. स्वीट टंग, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड चार्वाका. different places the term Charvaka is explained. Sometimes it is said all good things are sidelined by them. सभी चीजों को चबा जाते हैं. That's why they are called Charvaka. Since we will not find any values in Charvaka's philosophy. Moral values they have not given much more emphasis on moral values. चार्वाका कौन थे? तो एक व्यू है कि ऋषि थे. एक व्यू है कि सुंदर उनके वचन थे, स्वीट टंग. ये रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी. मधुशाला, So no need to right now recollecting this particular knowledge मधुशाला. क्लास होते ही कई लोग मधुशाला में चले जाएंगे, रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी, एंड राइट नाउ ऑल्सो यू आर ऑल्सो रिकॉलिंग मधुशाला. नो नीड. ठीक है, रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी भी मधुशाला इनको याद आ रहा है, मधुशाला. थोड़ा रिफाइंड टर्म, यूजिंग रिफाइंड टर्म, मधुशाला. ठेका नहीं बोले, मधुशाला. वेरी गुड. One group has said this particular Charvaka philosophy was propounded by Brihaspati, who was the teacher of Devaj, God के. जो देवताओं के गुरु थे बृहस्पति, he has propounded this Charvaka's philosophy. Among Asuras. One thought has said that एक जो ग्रुप है कहता है इस फिलॉसफी वाज प्रपोन्ड में बृहस्पति, ये देवताओं के गुरु थे. जब देवताओं का दानवों का आपस में जो इविल डूअर्स थे उसमें जब क्लैश होता था, कंफ्लिक्ट होता था, दानव इनको कई बार प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते थे देवों को. तो सारे देवता गए गुरु के पास कि आप कुछ कीजिए. तो गुरु ने कहा कि ठीक है, मैं एक ऐसी फिलॉसफी इनके दानवों के बीच आई एम गोइंग टू propound कि बाई एंड बाई दे विल ऑटोमेटिकली वो कमजोर हो जाएंगे. तो दिस पर्टिकुलर फिलॉसफी वाज propounded फॉर दानवाज बाई बृहस्पति टू प्रोटेक्ट देवाज, देवताओं को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए कि अपने में ही लड़ के कमजोर हो जाए. सो इट वाज ए मेटलिस्टिक फिलॉसफी वाज propounded among दानवाज. प्रेजेंट सेंस, प्रेजेंट सोसाइटी guided by materialistic philosophy. A materialistic philosophy difficult to find unity. In materialistic society, very, very difficult to find unity among human beings. Binu Mishra, how can you say Charvaka theory may not be applicable? Highly applicable. Most of the persons are Charvaka, guided by Charvaka philosophers. Most of the persons are materialistic persons. बिल्कुल मधुशाला है वहां पे, मेल कराती मधुशाला, रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी. बट नो नीड टू रिकलेक्ट दैट वन राइट नाउ. Charvaka theory may not be applicable in present time. Let me complete Binu Mishra first Charvaka's philosophy. Then finally we will write importance and criticism. क्या इनका प्रॉब्लम है, क्या इनका इंपॉर्टेंस है. इट्स रिलेवेंट इन सम सेंस. Charvaka's philosophy separate ourselves from blind beliefs and superstitions. Accepted this world as the only real world, no any other world. Accepted, given much more emphasis on experience. So they have separated Indian philosophy from dogmatism. Denied God, soul, etc. On the name of God, all over the world, a lot of things are happening, negative things, conflict, clash, violence, such kind of things are happening. This one is denied by God. Charvakas have denied. And they have given arguments why we should accept God. प्लेजर के लिए कुछ भी करो. यस गौतम. Outrightly will not support, but even you will accept their importance. देखो सवाल आया है. देखो, this one is the importance of Charvaka philosophy. 2010 Charvaka philosophy saved Indian philosophy from dogmatism. Earlier Indian philosophy, God, soul, rebirth, heaven, these were accepted without giving proper arguments. When Charvaka's philosophers refuted God, refuted soul, refuted rebirth, then other philosophical systems become bound to provide arguments in favor of God, in favor of soul. Indian philosophy enrich हुआ, strong हुआ, ज्यादा रेशनल हुआ. They have saved Indian philosophy from dogmatism. This one is the most important contribution of Charvaka philosophy. They have separated Indian philosophy from blind beliefs and superstitions. This one is helpful in our life, but not in all sphere, all the time. Clear? Sorry. Is it clear? Now हम लोग किसको देखने जा रहे हैं? Now rejection of validity of inference. मेन स्ट्रक्चर स्टार दे लेना, इसी को लिखना. इज इट क्लियर? पहले बोलो इतना क्लियर है. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस इन्फरेंस. पहले बोलो इज इट क्लियर? Inference. Charvakas have accepted perception as the source of valid knowledge, rejected validity of inference, rejected validity of Sabda Pramanas, etc. So now we are going to discuss inference. How inference is rejected by them. So देखो पहले first of all I am going to explain something. Then we will start to note. इसको भी rough आप note कर लोगे. But now, then you will be able to understand each and everything. See, in Charvaka philosophy, we have to refute validity of inference. But you can understand refutation of validity of inference only when, if you are able to understand meaning of inference. What do you mean by inference? What are the features of inference? Then only you can able to understand how it is rejected by Charvaka. So, very beginning, in process of refuting validity of inference, first of all, I am explaining meaning of inference. What do you mean by inference? What are the examples of inference? And after that, we will start to refute validity of inference. ध्यान रखना. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now, see first of all, in short, for the rough types, and then we'll start to note down all those things in a proper manner. Inference. It is called, in Hindi, it is called Anuman. Anuman. Anu means after. After. Man means knowledge. Inference, literal meaning of inference is after knowledge. Must be aware. What do you mean by inference? Inference means after knowledge. Literal meaning of inference? Inference means after knowledge. What do you mean by after knowledge? Explain this after knowledge. After knowledge means knowledge which is based on some prior knowledge. Knowledge which is based on some prior knowledge. You must be aware, knowledge, inference is after knowledge. Inference means after knowledge. After, what do you mean by after knowledge? After knowledge means knowledge which is based on some prior knowledge. For example, clear? चार लोग बोलना, is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? After knowledge. For example, taking help of example only it is possible to understand meaning of inference. And once we will understand meaning of inference, then we will start to refute validity of inference. So inference means after knowledge. After knowledge means knowledge based on some prior knowledge. For example, Imagine. First of all, we find perception of a smoke. Perception of a smoke. And on the basis of a smoke, we find knowledge of fire. So see, fire is inferential knowledge and smoke is perceived, perceptual knowledge. So on the basis of perceived smoke, find inferential knowledge of fire. This one is the example of inference. Note down. On the basis of perceived smoke, find knowledge of fire. It's an example of inference. On the basis of perceived on the basis of perceived smoke, find knowledge of fire. A smoke in technical language is called hetu. On the basis of perceived hetu, hetu means middle term, note down. इतना लॉजिकल है इंडियन फिलोसफी, लॉजिकल है. On the basis of perceived hetu or middle term, find knowledge of major term. Major term, or you can say sadhya, S-A-D-Y-H-A. In inference, on the basis of perceived hetu, we find inferential knowledge of sadhya. Other example, on the basis of perceived smoke, find inferential knowledge of fire. This one is the example of inference. On the basis of perceived smoke, find knowledge of fire. In other words, on the basis of perceived hetu, H-E-T-U, smoke is hetu. This one is the part of logic. Hetu means middle term. On the basis of perceived middle term, find inferential knowledge of major term or sadhya or fire. That is known as inference. अब इसी को एग्जाम्पल को थोड़ा आगे बढ़ाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहां पे लिखते हैं, एक पहले छोटा सा फोटो बनाते हैं. इमेजिन this one is mountain and here this side fire is there, here this side fire, imagine, and here this one is smoke, and this one is mountain basically, and someone is getting perception from here, able to perceive. इसके साथ साथ इसका एक फ्रेंड भी है, वो भी है. Imagine दो लोग साथ साथ जा रहे हैं. They all are able to perceive this smoke. They are able to perceive this smoke, and also they are able to perceive this mountain. So their first line will be, what will be the first line? There is a smoke on the mountain. There is a smoke on the mountain. कोई प्रॉब्लम? पर्वत पर धुआं है. फर्स्ट लाइन. सारे लोग बोलना. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ परसीव्ड स्मोक, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज यू विल इन्फर. सारे लोग बोलो. व्हाट यू विल इन्फर ऑन दैट प्लेस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ परसीव्ड स्मोक. what kind of statement you will give? Dubai. A statement likho. There is a smoke on the mountain. Now what kind of knowledge you will infer? What kind of knowledge you will infer? आंख से दिख रहा है कि धुआं है. There is a smoke on the mountain. Able to perceive mountain. And opposite side में, इस side में fire है. Unable to perceive. Imagine both are getting knowledge. There is smoke on the mountain. There is fire. तो आग भी लगा दी अनीश कुमार. There is fire. फायर का फायर भी जला दिया वहां पे. कितना फास्ट है ये अनीश कुमार. There is fire on the mountain. अनीश कुमार here. मैं यहां पे गैप कर रहा हूं. There is fire on the mountain. On the mountain. एक बार पढ़ लेना लाइफ में, बार बार नहीं पढ़ना है, बट फर्स्ट टाइम ठीक से पढ़ना. अरे ये नहीं आयुष गौतम, बट इज रिटन बाय Anish, good. There is fire on the mountain. बुद्धि उतना ही लगाओ जितना मैं पूछ रहा हूं, ज्यादा ज्यादा बुद्धि नहीं. There is fire on the mountain. विवेक कुमार, हरप्रीत सिंह, fire. Okay, fire. There is fire on the mountain. Yes. अग्रसर राज, अग्रसर भी है, ठीक है. और भी तो बता दो, क्या लगाओगे वहां पे? फायर, आग लगाओगे, पानी गिराओगे, और सब कहाँ चले गए? लॉजिक है, प्योर लॉजिक है. राइट नाउ वी आर इन लॉजिक. लॉजिक, सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ लॉजिक इज इन्फरेंस. वी आर इन इन्फरेंस राइट नाउ. इमेजिन दो लोग जा रहे हैं एंड यू आर एबल टू परसीव माउंटेन एंड फायर, स्मोक. So you can say there is a smoke on the mountain, and on the basis of perceived smoke, this one is a perceptual knowledge. Through perception you are getting perception of a smoke, perception of mountain, and on the basis of perceived smoke, you are getting fire on the mountain. This one is inferential knowledge. Inference means after knowledge. After knowledge is based on some prior knowledge. You are getting knowledge of smoke first, and after that you are getting knowledge of fire. इन्फरेंशियल नॉलेज है ये. नाउ थिंक लॉजिकली. सारे लोग बोलो, इज इट क्लियर? बोल तो लो सारे लोग, इज इट क्लियर? यस, देयर इज फायर ऑन द माउंटेन. करेक्ट. रिमझिम चतुर्वेदी ने भी लिख दिया फायर ऑन द माउंटेन. बट नाउ इमेजिन ये दोनों लोग हैं, ये थोड़ा इंटेलेक्चुअल टाइप का हो और ये बच्चा टाइप में हो, इंटेलेक्चुअल, एंड ये अभी चाइल्डिश छोटा सा ब्रेन हो. अगर मान लो, इमेजिन नॉट, उसको प्रॉपर नॉलेज नहीं हो. सो दिस पर्सन व्हेन एज सून एज ही विल परसीव स्मोक ऑन द माउंटेन, ही विल स्टार्ट टू से देयर इज फायर ऑन द माउंटेन. तो मान लो ये अगर पूछे व्हाई यू आर सेइंग दिस स्टेटमेंट, व्हाई, इफ इट इज आस्क्ड फ्रॉम यू ऑन विच ग्राउंड you are perceiving a smoke, but you are saying that there is fire on the mountain, it means कि कुछ और नॉलेज है बीच में. मिड पार्ट, वन मोर नॉलेज इज रिक्वायर्ड. व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड? यू हैव वन मोर नॉलेज इन योर माइंड. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज यू हैव इन योर माइंड? बोलो सारे लोग. Why on the basis of perceived smoke you are inferring fire? Why you are not inferring water there, sand there, some other things there? Why on the basis of perceived smoke you are saying there is fire on the mountain? Why? मैं पूछूं why? नहीं, संगीता सिंह, there must be fire. ये तो correct है, there is fire on the mountain. But on the basis of a smoke, why you are saying there is fire on the mountain? Why you are not saying water and some other things on the mountain? One more knowledge exists in your mind. What's that knowledge? You have this particular knowledge. Where there is a smoke, there is fire. There is fire. Where there is smoke, there is fire. See, first line, there is a smoke on the mountain. Second line, where there is smoke, there is fire. Therefore, you will find there is fire on the mountain. Now it's a valid reasoning, valid argument. It's a valid deductive argument. अगर आपका आर्गुमेंट्स का लेवल ठीक हो तो इन सी सेट स्पेशली कंप्रिहेंशन को, क्वेश्चन को, तो आप बहुत अच्छे से डील करोगे. अगर आपकी रीजनिंग लॉजिक अगर अच्छे से हो तो. सी दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट. बिकॉज ऑफ द नॉलेज ऑफ स्मोक एंड द फायर. यस, कनेक्शन. हरप्रीत सिंह, your line will be where there is smoke, there is fire. Connection between a smoke and fire you have in your mind. So first of all, you will perceive this one. There is a smoke on the mountain. You will recollect this knowledge, where there is smoke, there is fire. And then only, therefore, you will find there is fire on the mountain. Clear? Yes or no? सारे लोग बोलो, is it clear? बीनू मिश्रा, क्योंकि ये स्मोक फायर से ही होता है, फायर से नहीं होता है. स्मोक और भी चीजों से हो जाता है. You will write. Now it is asked where there is smoke, there is fire. How How you have got this knowledge? Where there is smoke, there is fire. How? How you have the Binu Mishra, what you are saying, क्योंकि ये smoke fire से ही होता है. It means you have always seen a smoke with fire. A smoke with fire you have always seen in your life. A smoke with fire. लॉजिक देखो क्या लॉजिक है चार्वाका का. Yes, but how many times you have seen a smoke with fire? How many times? सारे लोग बोलना. How many times you have seen a smoke with fire? 10 times, 1000 times, 1 lakh times, 10 lakhs times, daily basis, सुबह शाम रसोई में ही रहते हैं. You may say like that. So if you are getting two things, a smoke and fire, imagine 10 lakhs times. This doesn't mean that you can say where there is smoke, there is fire. You have seen relation between a smoke and fire sometimes. And on the basis of some, how can you say where there is smoke, there is fire? You have seen a smoke with fire few places. Kitchen में देखा, जंगल में देखा, मकान में देखा, different places. It means कि overall few places you have seen relation between a smoke and fire. How many times? 1 lakh times, 2 lakhs times, daily basis. You may say like that. But overall it is said you have seen few times. Sometimes you have seen. Some places you have seen a smoke with fire. Sometimes some places. Yes or no? And on the basis of some perceived cases between a smoke and fire, few places, how can you say where there is smoke, there is fire? This was a universal statement. Where there is smoke, there is fire. How can you say? Regarding perceived cases, you can say yes, a smoke exists with fire. How can we say regarding unperceived cases? मैं एग्जाम्पल को चेंज कर रहा हूं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इमेजिन हम तो क्रो को जब देखते हैं क्रो इज ब्लैक. Once you have seen crow, you will find black. Second, third, fourth time. Can you say on the basis of crows and black, relation between crows and black, where there is any crow, it will be black? Where there is any crow, it will be black. Can you say? Can you universalize this one? Although you have knowledge, whenever you have find knowledge of crow, you have always find this one is black. But can you say all crows are black, or where there is crow, it must be black? No. Some places, sometimes you have seen crows as black, and on the basis of some, you can't derive all type of statement. It's a problem. If you will proceed from some to all type of conclusion, you will create a fallacy of illicit generalization. Logically, no logical ground to proceed from some to all. And in this particular line, there is smoke on the mountain. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Here, this particular line leads to fallacy of illicit generalization. Where there is smoke, there is fire. After perceiving few places a smoke with fire, you have make up your mind. Where there is smoke, there is fire. It's a kind of illicit generalization. Problem kya hai? Must be aware. In our life, when we find two things coming one after another on regular basis, once, twice, 4 times, 10 times, we associate them. If this one is there, certainly this one will be there. It's a result of psychological association between these two things. Psychological association. In our life, time to time, we commit such kind of fallacy. On the basis of some, we derive all type of statements. And wherever you will derive all type of statements on the basis of some, it will lead to a fallacy. Fallacy is illicit generalization. No logical ground to jump from some to all. मान लो एक बार ही आपने कोई टी शर्ट पहना और आपको सक्सेस मिल गया. सेकेंड टाइम ऑल्सो यूज दैट पर्टिकुलर टी शर्ट एंड सक्सेस. थर्ड टाइम, फोर्थ टाइम. So after that, we universalize this relationship. Whenever I will use this particular T-shirt, I will find success. कई बार हम पेन से, कई बार T-shirt से. It's a kind of psychological problem from the point of view of psychology. No necessary relation between that particular pen and that success, but in mind we universalized. Wherever I will use this particular pen, I will find success. Lucky pen, lucky t-shirt, lucky फलानी चीजें खूब लोग लकी लकी रखते हैं. Yes or no? So, if imagine sometimes we find knowledge of smoke with fire, sometimes you can't say you can't universalize relation between them. Otherwise, it will lead to fallacy of fallacy generalization. पहले बोलो, is it clear? This one is known as व्याप्ति basically. नोट कर लो, व्याप्ति. व्याप्ति. Example of व्याप्ति, note down. व्याप्ति is a relation between middle term and major term. Middle and major. Between hetu and sadhya. Relation between hetu and sadhya. व्याप्ति is a relation between hetu and sadhya. Example of व्याप्ति: where there is a smoke, there is fire. Where there is a smoke, there is fire. It is said by Charvaka that if this line is accepted as true, where there is smoke, there is fire, then only on the basis of a smoke you can infer fire. But this line is doubtful according to Charvaka. So if this line is doubtful, so on the basis of a smoke you can't infer fire. In this way, rejected validity of inference by Charvaka. एक बार रुक के डिस्कस कर लेना ठीक तरीके से, एंड they have asked questions again and again. They have asked question on this particular point. देखो आप, मैं छोटा एग्जाम्पल दिखा रहा हूं. See this question. पहले यूपीपीसीएस देख लो. State and examine Charvaka's refutation of inference. First time. Discuss Charvaka's refutation of inference. Second time. See straightforwardness of the question. How did Charvaka refute Anumana Pramana? 2017. 2019. Perception is the only authentic source of knowledge. Again, you have to refute inference. Why Charvaka does not accept inference as a Pramana? 2020. Again and again, same question. एक बार ठीक से पढ़ना है, बार बार नहीं, उसी में थोड़ा क्लियर करना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल 2019 में, अच्छा इसको भी देखेंगे थोड़ा रुक के. Are the Charvakas consistent when they hold that inference is not a source of valid knowledge? So in which sense they have said inference is not a source of valid knowledge? And then we will decide, are Charvakas consistent or Charvakas positions are inconsistent? I will discuss this one in detail. But first of all, in which way Charvakas have rejected inference is not a source of valid knowledge. Inference is a source of valid knowledge rejected by him. Again and again they have asked questions regarding inference. Rejection of inference 18, 19. एक ही सवाल बार बार, ये भी उसी से रिलेटेड है. Now here concept of ये Charvaka's view on व्याप्ति, ये भी व्याप्ति पे हम लोग आ रहे हैं. फिलॉसफी में कम पढ़ना है, बट कॉन्सेप्ट मस्ट बी क्लियर, और एक बार एफर्ट करना है. वंस गो थ्रू माइन्यूटली एंड देन फॉर एवर ये चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. यस to see where there is smoke, there is fire. It's a vyapti statement. Here smoke is hetu or middle term and fire is sadhya or major term. So vyapti is a relation between middle term and major term. It's a universal relation. Universal relation must be available. Concomitant relation between middle term and major term. Conditional relation between middle term and major term. So few important technical terms I will discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow I will first of all discuss vyapti. Since vyapti pe hi kam se kam 7-8 times questions you will find total. So first of all I will discuss vyapti. and then I will discuss how inference is rejected by Charvakas. यही पार्ट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है थियरी ऑफ नॉलेज का. That's the most important part of Charvaka's theory of knowledge. How they have rejected validity of inference. They have given different types of arguments. And finally, we write they are not able to reject inference logically. Some sort of inconsistency remain in their refutation of validity of inference. I will discuss that one tomorrow. Clear? इज इट क्लियर? पहले बोलो सारे लोग. अब व्याप्ति को आज मत समझना, व्याप्ति टुमारो आई विल डिस्कस. आई हैव नॉट डिस्कस व्याप्ति इन डिटेल. तो जितना पढ़ाया है उसी को पढ़ना, एंड देन स्टेप बाय स्टेप विल सी अदर थिंग्स. इज इट क्लियर? बोलो, इज इट क्लियर? टुमारो 7:30 विल सी रिमेनिंग पार्ट. Tomorrow I will discuss refutation of inference by Charvakas, their arguments, and finally their limitations. And after that, we'll go through previous year's question. जितने questions है सबको देख लेंगे related to this in 2020, in 2012 also. Why do Charvaka not believe in the validity of inference? Discuss why not accepted. Charvaka's epistemology, Charvaka's refutation of inference. Perception is the source of valid knowledge. Inference is not possible. They have refuted inference. Tomorrow 7:30 p.m. Thank you.